People are watching sports every single day. Whether it be at a professional level or a college level, there are always fans watching the games. But what most people don't watch is the communication and interactions between the players and coaches during those games. What we don't see, maybe in practice or before the game, is the communication that occurs between the coaches and players. It is a process that most don't realize help determine the capability of how well the team will perform. Communication between the coach-athlete relationship is key to being successful and achieving the best level of performance for the players. Now, there's a big importance of coach-athlete relationships that's very imperative on many levels for various reasons. Some components are necessary for this relationship to succeed, and they are closeness, commitment, complementary, and co-oriented, the 4 C's. The closeness entails how the pressure of a close relationship between one another will bring clear and good communication as you've gained the comfort to achieve this. The emotional tone that is portrayed and found in their facial expressions when trying to gain trust with one another. Commitment is also huge for a coach-athlete relationship. Commitment tests one's strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies, all providing a stepping stone for the best success within oneself. This can also be known for long-term aspects as the coach-athlete relationship when trying to sustain by committing to it. To be complementary with one another means that both parties must be able to see eye to eye and fit together as one. Then for co-oriented, the coaches and athletes must be able to work together through communication in setting goals and objectives to achieve within the roles of the teammates for motivation. Tension can always rise high within a team and is very necessary to be able to communicate through those rough times in order to be able to move past that tension. In an article from 2007 exploring touch and communication between coaches and athletes, it was mentioned that from perception and human experience, the findings indicate that the touch between coaches and athletes increased at major events when tensions ran high. By giving high fives, hugs, hands on shoulders, and/or handshakes, all incorporate the concept of communication through body language in a coach-athlete relationship. With positive communication from a coach after a well-played game or just an excellent play will give reassurance for that athlete for upcoming plays. Not everything comes out positively, though. There are negative forms of communication from coaches. If there's a loss or a disappointing play from one of the athletes, how the coach communicates can affect the emotional response from the athlete, leading to the next performance. The coach-athlete relationship has accountabilities to the success of either the team or an individual. There have been many studies on the specifics of communication in athletes focusing on problem solving and crisis between a coach and an athlete. Research has shown that there are 2 relational patterns in interpersonal communication which can be represented in a coach-athlete relationship, one being symmetrical and the other one being complementary. There are many aspects that tie together in order to build a good relationship and bring good performance outcome. There has been research that shows that many coaches spend more time on predictable and planning administrative elements of coaching rather than spending more time on nurturing the relationships that they have with their athletes through communication. In this environment, to ensure sustainability of the relationship and evoke long-term success from their team, there needs to be reassurance from coaches to their players in their communication style. Jowett in 2002 emphasized in her research that with every coach and player relationship, there's always outside factors that can negatively affect either party and have a hardship on the communication and the relationship. With more vulnerability, there is more need for dependency that will bring out comfort in the relationship, resulting in more success on both sides. The lack of communication and goals can be the biggest threat to a coach-athlete relationship, as it can lead to mistrust and failure. The coach has an important role in the style of communication used with the athlete in order to build them up instead of knocking them down mentally. Athletes cannot just simply rely on their teammates, but they need the ability to rely on their coach when in need in crisis or distress. This will help give the team more direction in order to be successful together. In both individual and team sports, it is very important to have healthy, nurtured relationships to be able to endure long team performance and either success. When you spend and dedicate so much of your time to one team or one sport, the communication and relationships that you build within that time has an impact on your life, performance, and capabilities in all types of ways. The communication used through written, oral, facial, or body languages are all messages to be perceived by the receiver, in this case, which would be the athlete or the coach, which is a very necessary skill in developing that relationship. All athletes have their own perceptions of themselves and their coaches. Same with their coaches. They have their own perceptions of themselves and their athletes. The perceptions that are made directly relate to their performances rather than actual measures taken. Researchers could see the outcome of performance consistent to the coach-athlete relationship that they have. The quality of a coach-athlete relationship not only affects performance, but can play a crucial role in an athlete's experience. As athletes develop and grow in their sport, the coaching that goes along with that development has a great aspect to the level of performance shown. As most could assume, research shows that when coaches are emotionally abusive to their athletes, the given response from their athlete can be detrimental to their success. The compatibility between a coach and an athlete is clearly shown to be most important to the key success in performance when the coaching behavior and communication is used. Most of the time, coaches and athletes have different perceptions of training and motivation, though. This is why it's important to have trust and comfort to be able to communicate with one another. There are many different methods to developing one's communication. For coaches and athletes, this can be nurturing relationships, like I've said before. The communication used by coaches to their athletes is an important factor as before or after a game. Communication is used in verbal and nonverbal scenarios. It is a part of everyday lives, whether we know it or we don't. Coaches' behaviors and overall communication to their athletes is a crucial part to the resulting performance outcome, whether it be through emotional or physical touch. Through research, there are many proven points as to why communication between coaches and athletes have a direct relation to their performance.